I'm concerned about the disrupted communication of the Navigator's Sanctum. We should have already approached the translation point and proceeded to real space.
None shall stand in my way.
Alright, let's get going. Hold on, Master. Just stay with us. Keep firing, you oofs. No cowering, no hiding. You see the traitor? You kill the traitor. The heretic's body is riddled with holes. An improvised single shotgun flies smoking in his hands.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Wait here, let's have a sigh of relief upon seeing you.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, pull yourself together.
Conrad pointedly looks away from the arch-militant to you.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
The arch-militant looks back to you. Mort pulls his Vox from the belt and hurriedly reports on the situation.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
So the Voxnet is a communications network. So...
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Geller field failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only Voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Oh, PSC. Our own mutiny. Mutiny? Well, who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp?
Lunatics, fools, heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the Navigator's Sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once.
Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously.
Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
Theodora looks at Voidfear.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
Theodora glances at you thoughtfully.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers.
Voidfear's voice is soft and cautious.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
She points at the massive doors. In whatever state? What does that mean?
We are in the warp. Considering the attack, there could be a disruption in the Geller field and the infiltration of malevolent forces onto the decks. Psychers can react to such things in the most unpredictable ways.
Enough! Master of Whispers, you must not allow my heir to turn into a mindless mutant and to perish under Enforcer fire. Do whatever it takes to bring Edelthrad back to me.
Can I promise you won't lose your tears heir somewhere along the way. That's pretty funny. Well, competition. Yeah, we're not picking that one. Maybe if I could go back and do like a chaotic heretical playthrough, I would. I hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Then move out! Mort, come.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
So, I have a proposition. Since I'm the most important person here, you can go in the front to shield me from potential threats. Oh yeah. Man, some of these dialogue options are pretty funny. You better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. I don't think we should antagonize him. Because really, we're not really the most important person on the ship anyway, so we're still trying to prove ourselves, so I shouldn't be overly pompous. I should make do. Lead the way.
Of course you will. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
He rummages in his pocket for something. Something hits you hard, with a sharp crackle, and you're consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. I promise you a special destiny, Athanasius. It is time to fulfill it. Betrayed. Who could have saw that coming? Now it's interesting though that he pretty much said someone was invading the ship or like planning a mutiny, and the fact that he's the one that brought it up to like get the suspicion off of him. It's pretty clever. Like when this happened the first time, I didn't know it was going to happen, but maybe I'm just not that experienced with genre stories.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the warrant chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Voigtvira looks down on you. Voigtvira, you two-faced scum. You're the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the warrant chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it.
The gates to the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Why are you doing this?
Why? Because I am following an order. What is happening on this ship right now has been in the making for a very long time. All that remains is to obtain what my masters sent me for. The warrant of trade.
So this was planned. Will you let me join you? We can take the warrant from Theodora together. We're not in a position to be bartering. I like this insult right here. What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, fond Valancius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy, you sordid, wretched piece of crap?
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind.
Something out of your tone to the venomous words throws Conrad off for a moment, as hateful fury blazes from beneath the mask of a cold professional.
Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench fond Valancius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Olivier hesitates for a second and then produces a strange weapon, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear in your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Find the voice in your head. Get out! I'll not be your puppet. Voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber. So the intruding influence was a decision consequence. You were wounded by the corrupted weapon, which led to the warped entity invading your mind. So it was that knife that he stabbed us with on Conrad. Bear got these voices in her head. Alright. Ooh, skill test dialogue. One of the available dialogue options require making a skill test, unlike with passive tests, which are made automatically. In this case, you can decide whether or not to select an option, the consequences of which will depend on the result of the associated test. I wonder why they have that. I would prefer it to be automatic. In the gateway arc, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its head to you, one of his eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Let's examine the device. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeo technology. So, an incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. Now, how ancient are we talking about? We're talking about like the 2000s, or like 10,000 years ago. I don't know. So mysterious. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With a screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that fill your head after Voidveer wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their sword just coiled itself onto a tight knot, somewhere in the depths of your mind. So that's from being wounded. So examine the sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. For anything to be used as a weapon? You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or a protruding piece of rebar in sight. Look back.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
Place your hand in the Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaw clamps around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitators flicker. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you're beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath, maybe even close your eyes, and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whatever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this?
Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance?
You hear the voice again, and this time you realize that it is coming from the two speakers built into the Sentinel's shoulders. You hear a displeased grunt in your mind, as if the lurking entity has sensed something that is not to its liking. Let's read these. Threaten my life. Require assistance. Warrant madness. Just lost my note. Yes, Sentinel. Traitors threaten my life and the safety of the Warren. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity cold in your conscience does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
There is still another way.
Check the searcher out for a second. Okay, yeah, that is a servitor. I was trying to see if that was like a robot or something. Because the way it was described in the dialogue made it seem like it wasn't normal. But you can see the skin, especially on that one right there. That's a servitor. Okay. Let's go through this door. There it is. Let it be known that by my will, or by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the word of trade, and bestow upon them, and to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness. I'm just going to read these after. I'll just read these in the combat log. Sorry.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
The servo skulls creaking gradually turning. Oh, sorry. Creaking gradually turns into comprehensible words. What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator's Sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valancius, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt.
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
I need a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent. His relays clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Alright, that's our journal. So we press J. See everything we need to do. Alright. Pull this back up. Yeah, cool. Oh man, we can't read what it said. Well, hopefully you can pause it and be able to read all this said. Oh, here it is. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade, and bestow upon them and their dynasty the great mission. This is a giant document. Holy mess. Man, this game's awesome. I think it's funny. Little side. All these candles used to light up everything. Like, yeah. That's just excessive. And all these candles melt, so you know all these have to be replaced. And how long has this thing been down here? Because there shouldn't be any candles lit.
Follow my lead.
Unless the servitors and the mobile units replace them. But where are they getting all these candles? It seems like too expensive and too much trouble. So that's beyond the point. Old injury. So injury doesn't heal in time. It will be healed with a med kit, but it requires passing a Medicaid skill test to succeed. To meet injuries, reduce the character's resolve and cause traumas. So resolve affects momentum. Okay, so that's not really that big of a deal, but anyway, that's
It's
okay.
about
I'll be able to
time.
heal those in a second. Wait, did I read everything? The enormous gates match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and looks impregnable. Alright, let's go ahead and seal the warrant.
fools, or fall!
Master! Whatever are you doing in the Warren Chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me! What is the meaning of this?
Seneschal Abelard, Versarian, has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite his heavy breathing, he stands firm and his gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. He surveys the carnage around him. His brow furrows, and he places a hand on his weapon. Kunrad Voidveer is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of the plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor! I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
So the God Emperor, we can talk about this for a little bit, it's a little short. The guide, the ruler, and the higher power to which humanity offers their prayers for aid and deliverance. Most would be driven mad with despair if they knew the truth. So yeah, pretty dark. Voidveer openly admitted that to me. He is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saint's blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
Oh yeah, got a step revolver, sword, some light armor, and a medikit. So medikits can only be used with characters that have the field medic feature, base skill medicate, or have taken medicate skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, medicate skill test determines the number of wounds. Okay. So
I'm at your service.
think. So yeah, here's weapons, yeah. Let's go ahead and equip the armor. Gun, the iconic sidearm skill we got earlier.
I'll pass.
Let me help. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, navigator. However, I have spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Vox cast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort.
So who lights the candles? I mean... Oh look, they're melting. So... Is it the robots that replenish the candles? Is there any lore about the candles? Mysteries, I'll have to Google this later.
The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
Probably because it hurt. What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterium. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Abelard does not bat an eye as he lists all the horrors that you're about to face. Imperium. Okay. I have a hard time remembering all the names for the warp, but yeah. I am under no obligation. No, don't do that. Every Sanctum. I heard one of Theodora's vodcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
Or how long we've been knocked out. Alright, right here. For the Imperium and humanity, lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared!
A wave of static suddenly erupts from the server skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Venerate the dead non-believers of chaos!
The Emperor is with us.
Okay, yep. So, let's move him. First, let's move us up here. There we go. And can we save it? Yeah. I'll save it before we start. Let's do it. So, combat abilities, talents, I'll go through all this. So, of course,
Nothing I can't do to do
at a
worse,
cost,
but not by much.
the voice
Already
command.
done.
Sweet. So we got burst. So we'll shoot over here.
Not a problem for opposing me. Was your biggest mistake. Absolutely not.
Alright, we only got 3 bullets left, so we gotta reload next time.
Such is the will of chaos!
Oh, parry.
I've suffered worse.
Chaos guides me!
So yeah, there is friendly fire in this game. Alright, so we got clean. Yeah, let's do
At
it.
your beck and call. Like the aftermath of an orbital strike. Indeed.
Going up here.
At your beck and call.
So you can see charge. We can use charge after we attack and move, so it helps us. So the best way to use that is to move as far as you can to get close to him, then charge to him, and then you can use also use an attack. So Avalanche's pretty overpowered. I think he's about to die.
I bring ruin.
Oh, parry. Yeah, he triggered the attack opportunity right there. Alright, point blank.
You didn't stand a chance.
Alright.
Not my specialty.
Okay, so yeah, we already used too much of it. So we're just gonna end our turn here. And we're just gonna
Victory is one fewer target.
boom, that's combat. Oh, level up.